Welcome back to One Comic Book a Day, where I'm actually feeling rusted. Today we are finishing our way through Superman number 13 with the fourth and final story, The City Beneath Earth, which is basically a big, dumb B horror movie of the time, or sci fi movie. Like, it's a plot we've seen many times before if you've watched a lot of B horror movies like I have. A lot of bad B horror movies like I have. It's essentially like every adaptation or ripoff of Journey into the Center of the Earth. There's people there, they're going to want to conquer Earth. There's sort of like an enslavement, and usually at least one giant monster, which we kind of have all those checked off here. Large buildings are collapsing, which does sound like a job for Superman. Superman goes out there pretty quickly, and after like one building collapses, I guess a bunch of people died there. He's able to sort of stop one, or at least hold it off long enough for him to go in and save a whole bunch of people trapped in the elevator. But he's definitely bringing down the death toll to zero, the thing you always want Superman to be doing. Hey, this comic is actually setting up a threat, and it's having Superman save people. The two things I ask for in every Superman story, especially if the threat's not going to be actually strong enough to do anything to Superman. Just build up the threat and let us have the fun of Superman eventually destroying it due to the arrogance of the villain. But yeah, we've already been pretty successful here. A ray sort of stays where one of the buildings that collapses was, so Superman slams through the ground and ends up finding like a steampunk drill driven by a bunch of indigenous looking people. This is maybe the weaker element of this comic, where we have sort of like a native indigenous group living under the earth. They're also sort of Cro-Magnon looking. I don't think a lot of thought was put into the society, but they are somehow advanced enough to create drills that can destroy large buildings, but they seem to be still stuck in like a tribal society. They're also colored in a brownish way that the shades seem to change depending on the time of where this panel is in the comic. Sometimes lighter, sometimes darker. They're not the most interesting mole people, if you could even remotely call them that. Once he's down there, he meets the leader, who then spends like 3 pages explaining why he's doing this and the history of his people and his great plan of conquering the earth. Arguably, doesn't he already conquer a lot of the earth if he's living underground? Just a way of looking at it. Glass half full instead of half empty, dude. Also, you're not going to do very well in the sunlight if you've been living underground the whole time, but that's beside the point. Superman then points out my favorite thing, because he never points this out. What was their plan to deal with him, Superman? You know, bright blue costume, red cape, pretty much indestructible, super strong, has X-ray vision, not heat vision yet. Can fly. We definitely know he can fly. But the leader just brushes this off and explains that he did have a plan for him, and then Superman has to fight like a big green dragon looking creature. This ends up being a terrible plan, because Superman just kind of grabs the creature by its tail and then slams it over like he's Bam Bam from Flintstones, and that deals with it. He deals with this as quickly as he dealt with the Loch Ness monster type creature from a few issues ago, which I think I forgot to bring up in that story, but it wasn't all that big of a deal. It was not even the climax, it was more of the epilogue. Once he's done with that, he sees a young man about to be thrown into lava. He's apparently a rival to the leader, who doesn't want to go to war with the surface world, which the leader just keeps referring to as Earth, so I don't know how he's delineating these societies. Once he's captured, the leader is thrown into prison and this guy takes over. I'm not exactly sure how many people were following either side. And that seems to be part of the problem, because the leader is immediately freed by his people and then sent into the drill, and he goes up and to face the surface world in one, metal drill against, I guess, the world's armies. But he's going to have a bigger problem before that, because Superman is immediately on him. He tries to shoot a ray, and this is another weakness of this comic. I guess there was more weaknesses than I previously brought up. The action becomes very condensed, and a lot of it is dealt with description, like how Siegel would deal with this early on, when he didn't really have the room to tell these stories. He still doesn't have much room to tell these stories. It's still a 14-page story. But I could have done without, the 3 pages of the leader explaining his entire plan, and added a few of those pages to, actually be able to portray a fight between the drill and Superman. Superman basically just punches the thing and it breaks completely apart, possibly killing the leader. We never see him again. He just punches it, and everybody's like, "You've saved everyone." He doesn't even go down to check on what's happening with that society. There was definitely like a revolt going on when they freed their leader, so I don't know how stable that was. There's no epilogue to that story. But yeah, it's a better story than a lot of things we've been getting. I do enjoy, big dumb fantastical stories. I say that a lot, and it does hit the check marks I generally ask for. It is weak in it's definitely weak in certain ways, and we definitely get better versions of the story. Like this feels like a Silver Age Superman story, like the kind of story we're going to get in like a decade to 20 years from now. I actually forget where we are in the 1940s. It's probably like 1943 or 44 at this point. And there's definitely better like underground societies. There's definitely like a lizard people living down there. So I don't know what happens to these people. Probably never brought up again. Okay, that is it from the city beneath Earth. Well, the city in the crust, not really beneath Earth. The whole thing's Earth. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell icon to get notifications when a new video goes up. I do this Monday through Friday, but Fridays is Bat Friday, where I cover a Batman story in either Detective Comics or Batman. And until next time, let us ponder the question, whatever did happen to the Man of Tomorrow? And what happened with the underground city, damn it? Okay, have a great and pleasant day.